Hi everybody, welcome to Talking Cars with Consumer Reports. I'm Tom Mutchler.
I'm Jon Linkov.
I'm Gabe Shenhar.
On this show, we're going to talk about some recent test results and we're going to answer some reader questions. So let's jump right into it. We recently published a test of German Roadsters. So someone asks on the blog, how about telling us our favorites among the tested Roadsters? John, it was quite a group of cars we tested.
Yeah, let's see. So we had Bmw Z4, the Mercedes SLK, the Boxster, and the Audi Tt. As far as German Roadsters go, I'll choose yes.
Real discriminating.
Yeah, you know what? Good weather, I'll take any of them, but the Boxster's just so much fun. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I'm going to make it easy. I would not buy the Z4. I bet none of us would buy a Z4.
Yeah.
That might sound a little surprising coming from me, but the BMW Z4
because you own a BMW.
Right. It's just not fun to drive.
And what does
leave
it?
it to
why
BMW.
Not? Why is it not fun to drive?
Its steering is not really there. It just doesn't have that crispness and that traditional BMW feel. And leave it to BMW, interestingly enough, to make their SUVs more fun to drive than the Roadster.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. You know, the thing that surprised me was the Audi Tt. You know, it has this, I hate to say it, it has a bit of an image problem.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, clearly the Boxster is the car here.
Yeah.
And that's where it's at. But there is a big price difference between the Boxster and the rest of these.
Yeah, the TT is $42,000. How much was our Boxster?
It was scratching 60.
With no heated seats, with a real lack of options.
Well, we had $3,000 wheels on it.
Right, that's true. Because when you want to spend $3,000, you got to get the Porsche wheels official instead of something else.
Just to put that into perspective, I bought a Mazda Miata for $3,500, an entire car.
Well, so you can buy a Boxster, and instead of getting nice wheels, you can get a Mazda, you know, for if it's in the shop.
Yeah.
Well, I think the real sleeper here was the Mercedes SLK.
I like the SLK. I drove it from here in Connecticut to a conference in Portland, Maine. It was a nice highway cruising car. It's sporty to drive, but you know, the Boxster's just fabulous.
Yeah.
I didn't love the last Boxster we tested, but this one, boy, they worked it out.
I love the old one. I love this one.
Yeah.
This one has better sounds. The last one was a little, it was raspy,
rattly.
Rattly, and
someone said it sounded like rocks in a can.
Exactly. Yeah, like right about here for your head.
Yeah, because the engine's mid-engine.
Exactly. So, you know, the TT's a nice second runner for me. I didn't like the clutch action of the Mercedes SLK. Didn't like the transmission.
It's a bit lumpy.
The TT's a good second choice. I wish that you could get a TT besides the TTRS with a manual. You know, DSG only is fun. Blipping the throttle, great. After that, you just leave it in automatic. So I would definitely look at a TT if they had a manual. But the Boxster, look, it's part of my Cayman S lust. That's just what I want.
The thing is, I would be satisfied spending $13,000 on a used Miata folding hardtop.
Yeah.
I'd get 95% of what the Boxster would give me, happiness-wise.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't care about you know, noise levels, refinement, some performance,
any of that stuff, yeah,
sure. Why not?
Cheaper to fix.
It might not need fixing. Our next question is from Facebook, talking about fixing cars. How well is the Ford F-150 Ecoboost pickup truck holding up over time? Well, I talked to our reliability expert here, Anita. We have over 1,600 of these Ecoboost trucks in our survey. I mean, it's a lot. They're holding up okay. There are some minor transmission complaints. Shift quality isn't so good. A few complaints about fuel delivery. But, you know, the engine's only been out for 2 years, so, you know, it's not like you can say it's been blowing up.
How does it compare to the V8?
The V8's a bit more reliable. And, I mean, I guess there's the question is, would you buy the V8 or would you buy the 6-cylinder EcoBoost?
I probably would buy the V8 because, you know, there's something about a V8 and the sound and the immediate thrust of it.
Yeah, the V8, you know, it's a Mustang, the Mustang V8. It sounds sweet. The EcoBoost sounds like a vacuum cleaner that's angry.
And you're not really giving up much in mileage between the two.
Well, see, there's the thing. Ford is harping on these claims. EcoBoost gets better mileage. No. In our tests,
it's a brilliant marketing name, EcoBoost.
Yeah, in the tests, they were equal. You know, and I mean, I see a lot of people bragging about the fuel economy of their EcoBoost trucks. You know, I get 22 miles per gallon on the highway. You get that out of the V8.
Right.
Now, I mean, my bias, though, is, you know, I spend all my weekends towing an Airstream trailer. The Ecoboost is the best towing engine I've ever had, you know, save a diesel. It just pulls and pulls and pulls. But, you know, if I wasn't towing a trailer, yeah, I might just save some money and get the V8.
Yep.
We have some new cars at the track. Our Jaguar XF.
I'm not
You're that excited by it.
I'm just not excited. You know what? First of all, when I heard that there's a Jaguar coming in, I was like, F-Type, and
No,
then I heard it has an X
not
in
yet.
front of it.
I'm excited
I
for the
know.
F-Type too. Not yet.
You know, it's kind of ho-hummy to me.
I mean, it's a nice looking car, but in terms of, I mean, it's just hard to put your finger on what exactly does it bring to the table in this competitive class of Mercedes E-Class, BMW 5 Series, and Audi A6.
Well, actually, the thing is now it even actually has a seat at the table to begin with, because the reason we're testing the car, they've updated the engines. We have a supercharged V6. But now they offer all-wheel drive.
You know, all-wheel drive is great. Snows with all-wheel drive, you go wherever you want. At the same time, good set of snow tires. You know, at the same time, people aren't really going out as much in the winter. It seems, you know, they get scared of snow. Yes, they're at the table. You have to have it to sell up in the Northeast or even down in the South. But
yeah, we looked at what our readers buy. It was amazing. You know, people. You know, when you were able to get rear drive, people stuck to rear drive. Around 08, 09, it switched.
Yeah.
They moved to all-wheel drive. You know, in this class, people are buying all-wheel drive. Jaguar trying to sell in the Northeast without all-wheel drive.
If I'm spending $60,000 on a car, I want the car to be there for me no matter what.
Well, I want the car to have I want the car to have any lumbar adjustment, which our Jaguar doesn't have. Which just.
How about the, just did a blog on that Acura RLX, and I got some responses there. Some blame me of hating Acura and Honda, which is completely false because half of the MDXs in my town I'm responsible for.
Yeah, we got a lot of angry people about that blog with that RLX. You know, people said, I do not believe you have taken an approach in penning this article that provides unbiased or completely factual information to consumers, styling preference aside because of its subjective nature. Your review is misleading and unyieldingly negative. So you're just a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day.
That RLX would be a perfect car if you told me it's a $40,000 Toyota Avalon competitor, or a Chrysler 300 competitor, or a Hyundai Azera competitor. It's a large, plush car, but it's just not special.
But it's not plush. The ride isn't very good.
The ride is not
you
luxury
hear suspension
at all.
noise.
Right. And you know, I just, last night I saw an ad for the RLX, and I think I counted like the word luxury about 14 times, I think. So, I mean, if you have to tell people this is luxury, there's a problem here. I mean, luxury needs to exude itself. It needs to be
it needs to pop out. I
Exactly.
mean, the interesting thing is that, you know, Acura always sat above Infiniti as far as like, well, okay, you know, there's Lexus, and then there's two other Asian and luxury brands, you know, and now almost Infiniti is seen before Acura in some way.
Yeah.
I think, you know, that you think about their cars a little more, you know, the big QX, or, well, they're all QXs now, I guess, but, you know, you have the big monster, you have the old G, you know, even the M, you know, these cars, I actually said sporty and luxury. Now Acura is just kind of like, well, what am I? And we own an MDX. My wife drives an MDX, you know, it's a top-rated vehicle. It's really great.
It is.
But it's such an uneven lineup. The ILX, the little one, you know, is totally unimpressive. This is totally unimpressive.
When Honda wants to do something well, they know how to do it. And if the RLX, clearly, they just said to themselves, we are not really competitors here. We're only going to sell very few of them. Let's just not make a big deal out of it.
Yeah, you know, I was going to say, even styling aside, like, what would you choose over that? I don't think there's anything that I would take that over. There's just nothing out there in the market. I don't even go for a Genesis, which is so far away from that car. As far as sporty, I'd take the Genesis in a second.
I mean, you know, we have readers, you know, they're upset that we discussed the styling. You know, someone said, Acuras have never been flashy. That's part of their charm, and that's why I like them. I don't want anything that announces I have arrived. I'd like to think that other CR readers feel the same. You know, gosh, I think when you spend $57,000 for a car, it should... We said in the first drive video that it's perfect if you're in the witness protection program.
Yeah. That was a good line. I mean, I'll be the first one to say that, yes, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But when you, it's just such a big part of the persona of a car. Certain cars, you know, you can say, you know, this car is sexy, you know, this car is just boring. And I mean, if you're not acknowledging that, then you're just missing a part of the conversation.
You know, they've fallen into the traditional complaint about the Japanese. They got about 3/4 of the way in the car and they're like, just finish the back however you want to do it. But Acura also went down a path a number of years ago. They went away from normal looking fronts. They went with the beak, then they changed the beak, they've evolved the beak. Now they have spider lights on the front. It looks like some kind of bug coming at you with big fangs coming at you. They're lost, I think, style-wise. They're totally lost. Everyone talks about design language, and half of it at press conferences is blah, blah, blah. But you know what? I don't know what their design language is.
You know, speaking of beauty in the eye of the beholder, or design language, we bought a Honda Crosstour.
We did. I mean, it's got this new engine, DreamWorks or
Earth Dreams, Earth Balance.
Yeah.
It's like it's like a vegan margarine, some sort of.
It's at Whole Foods. I think they sell the engine in the beer aisle.
It finally has a 6-speed automatic as well.
But to me, it's just Honda ruining an Accord. I would love an Accord wagon, and
I don't even remember driving it, I think.
I did. I had it for a weekend. You know, here's the plus. Put the 2 kids in the back. It was great, roomy. I put a kid's bicycle in the back without having to fold the seats down. Really great. It's very fast with the V6. It's got all-wheel drive.
Honda does great powertrain.
Yeah, it's great powertrain. You know, it's got the stupid split radio where it's telling me a station here, it's telling me a different station here. I'm toggling back and forth. All of a sudden, the camera's showing me the right side of the road because I touched the turn signal.
Lane watch. Yeah.
You know, and it's got shock towers that infringe on the cargo area. So actually, if you have to flip the seats down and put something kind of bulky in there, it better be a very narrow box from IKEA and not something wide.
You know, the thing is you know, they changed a handful of things that maybe will improve fuel economy. A lot of the complaints we had about the car.
And it has an onboard computer now.
Which it really should for.
Yeah,
how
for
much?
$35,000.
Yeah.
You know, $35,000 buys me a Hyundai Santa Fe 3-row.
Oh, that's our new acquisition, and that car is rather slick. You know, I think Hyundai is really learning. And I would suggest that Toyota, before they release the new Highlander, take a look at that Santa Fe to just make sure that it's competitive enough.
That way they don't have to redesign the Highlander 1 year later.
You know, it's funny, we didn't love the Santa Fe Sport, the 2-row version of this. This, you know, I drove it last night. It feels, the 3-row, it feels better sorted.
It is, yeah. It really is better sorted. I think it's more responsive, it rides better, it's quieter.
Yeah. Speaking of SUVs, we have a question from the blog. Why is the small sport utility segment one of the last, the minivan seems to be the other, to have a diesel engine offered in at least one vehicle? Is it that much smaller than mid-sized sedans to warrant the conservatism, or what's the deal?
I'm thinking cost, I'm thinking packaging, I'm thinking urea for the Germans, you know.
Pee-pee.
You know, the pee-pee, the cat pee.
Yeah.
A little bit of cat urine on the side. It's cost. You know, diesel engines are expensive. You know, you're talking about a very competitive.
It's $4,500 in a Grand Cherokee for you to
You know,
man up to the diesel.
That moves you up to another category. You know, which bigger vehicle. So you know, you're shopping. Look, small cars are price conscious. You know, nobody goes out there thinking, I got a ton of money, I'm going to go to the small car category. No, they're going to go small car, small SUV. Right there, you're going to talk about price.
And the price of diesel fuel. I mean, it's higher, always higher than the regular and even premium, and it's just going to counteract the purchase price.
You know, the funny thing is that one of the first diesels that was here wasn't in this segment. It was the Jeep Liberty, the first generation Liberty. Yeah, it was
that was a tractor engine.
It was a little tractor.
Tragic.
Yeah. Tragic. Yeah, it wasn't. It wasn't refined at all. Mercedes GLK is going to offer one. Mm-hmm. But yeah, you know, I get the feeling if someone offered a mainstream.
Mazda CX-5, I bet, will have it.
That's the rumor, because the Mazda 6 will have one.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Also, among the diesel folks, diesel versus gasoline, I'm looking at a BMW 3 Series. The new Efficient Dynamics 4-cylinder diesel looks great. Is it worth the extra upfront cost?
Yes.
I say no.
I would. Let's go. Let's
Bring it on.
Bring it on,
Bring it
Tom.
on.
Bring it
Bring it
on. Diesel, the last generation one was actually fun to drive, had a lot of power.
Yeah, but they didn't sell any of those.
No, it doesn't.
We're the only people who paid close to sticker.
Well, that's our fault for paying close to sticker. But you know
It did
what?
have nice brown leather seats.
It did. It was red. It was also nice. I had
I
trouble
picked
finding a
that
gas
color
nozzle to fit in it in New Jersey, but that's a different story. I just think the
blame
torque,
Jersey.
the fun to drive aspect of it, the range, that makes it a great vehicle right there.
Yeah, and this time around they're going to have it available with all-wheel drive in the wagon and the
I'm actually
wagon.
excited for that. As the sort of internet car geek, all-wheel drive wagon. You won't be able to get a stick, so that blows some of the cred out.
So wait. So the last one didn't sell a lot of. So now the all-wheel drive diesel wagon's going to be the
well, that's a
sales
volume
leader.
seller. They're going to sell
Handfuls.
Yeah, handfuls. I mean, BMW is claiming 37 miles per gallon overall combined. We got 28 out of our BMW 3 Series, which was our top pick for sports sedans. We'll buy one of these.
We will, yeah.
Maybe a wagon, don't know.
We'll see what it gets above and beyond the 28 mpg of.
Yeah, it's hard to
regular
answer
one.
the question if it's worth the money. BMW has not announced pricing yet, and without knowing the actual fuel economy, it's hard to say. But it's a tempting choice now. So thank you for watching our podcast. I'm Tom Mutchler.
I'm Jon Linkov.
Gabe Shenhar, thanks again.